The Cowboys Report's on YouTube and on Rumble as well. And I doubled down on my bet with Giants Now host Marshall Green here that the Cowboys Report would beat our Giants channel in followers on Rumble. And it's an embarrassment. It has been we've lost ground since the draft. We're now down well over 300 followers. So free uncensored videos on that platform. You can play it in background, by the way. You don't have to have it pulled up with the video the entire time. You can pull up other apps, go podcast style with the Rumble app. Go follow us, rumble.com/CowboysTV. I'll put that link in the comments section and in the description. On now to our first rumor of the day. How about signing Cole Beasley? I'll give it 1 star, and I think moving forward, maybe next year it'll be different. I'll talk myself into it, but I might just only give 1 star for any potential free agent signing because the Cowboys never do it. Means it's unlikely. CBS Sports had pitched the idea of a reunion for Cole Beasley. Now, they did pitch him as a number 4 or number 5 option, which, I don't know if you want an old number 4 or number 5. I think there is some pros and there are cons to adding Cole Beasley as well. I think maybe the number 1 con on the field is his catches stayed the same this past year. 82 versus 2021 and 2020. The yards went from 967 to 693. He had one of the lowest yards per catch in the NFL. He is still a receiver who gets open, but the after-the-catch ability, and he was used mainly underneath, I get all of that, those dropped. That level of play dropped quite a bit for a now 33-year-old receiver. So he can be a slot receiver for you. Absolutely can. But he's not. He's kind of like what Witten was down the stretch, where he was still helpful to an extent, but he did not bring you value beyond catch and fall down. That's kind of what Beasley was a little bit too much so last year. That should, I think, raise some potential red flags in terms of what he brings you. Now, the Cowboys' depth chart right now at the wide receiver spot is interesting. It's not quite fully fleshed out. Now, I will make note that Cole Beasley had the 3rd lowest average depth of target. I forgot to mention that earlier. 3rd lowest depth of target. That's not it's not great for what you're aiming there. And the yards after catch weren't particularly great either. Anyway, back to this current regime and the current setup here at wide receiver. You got CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if Gallup's going to be ready to play in week 1. That would mean your starting receivers are Lamb, Tolbert, and James Washington. It's not ideal, even though I think Washington might have more upside than Beasley. He's not a proven piece either. What intrigues me the most, frankly, about Cole Beasley, beyond being a pure slot, is he could do punt return stuff for you. And you don't have a punt returner right now, at least one that's done it over his NFL career. So we're not done talking about Cole Beasley. Those are 2 of the main pros and cons there. So I want to hear from you guys. Would you sign Cole Beasley if you ran the Dallas Cowboys? We will leave this up to the people on this one. Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, I want you guys to take advantage of it. Head down there and type in your Y for yes or your N for no. I am open to this idea. I think that he could fill a role as a slot receiver, a low-end one, and some punt return value. He'd be a cheap player as well. I think at this stage in his NFL career, Cole Beasley is not going to command a lot of money. Frankly, nor should he. There's no reason for Beasley to command big-time contract numbers at his point in his NFL career. You also have to figure out how that relationship is, because Cole Beasley, to an extent, did burn some bridges on his way out, making comments about the team and the organization and the coaches to an extent. Now the coaches are gone, so that's better there. He did have a decent working on-field chemistry with Dak Prescott. Fair or not, I think his vaccine stance could be a negative against him as well. We kind of know it was against Amari, although I think next year in the NFL, that's really not going to be a factor, so that isn't as nearly impactful as it could have been this time last year had Beasley been available. And you could maybe find a cheaper, younger punt return who brings you a little bit more explosiveness from that standpoint. So I'm open to it. I'm not going to get my hopes up or be mad if they don't do it at all. Now, tomorrow, Thursday, maybe today, depending on when you're watching this video on demand, but Thursday, the schedule release is coming out in the evening. So make sure you are subscribed and make sure those notifications are turned on. That way, as soon as our video breaking down the schedule drops, you get a noti sent right to your phone because you're subscribed to us here at the Cowboys Report. Let's go to Jadeveon Clowney, the potential free agent, one of the best ones out there, right? Because the Cowboys sign him. I'm actually going to give this fake news for one big particular reason that we will get into in a minute, and you'll want to stick around for it here. Now, Bleacher Report had said that the Cowboys should try to sign Jadeveon Clowney, which, like in a bubble, okay, you did the thing, you linked the big name player to the Cowboys, I get it. Clowney is one of the best free agents left unsigned at this point. The problem is they've shown no real interest in Clowney in the past. And the argument as to why they should go do it, don't think it really makes any sense. Here's what Bleacher Report had to say. However, Clowney would be an excellent addition in the way of the Cowboys losing Randy Gregory. The Cowboys added Dante Fowler in free agency, but he's been underwhelming from the away from the LA Rams. They didn't draft a pure edge rusher either. That's just flat out wrong, Bleacher Report. I am told that here we go. I found them. Bleacher Report's back again. Just incorrect. The Cowboys took Sam Williams in round 2 this year. Like, did we just pretend that didn't, or excuse me, D. Williams? Did that just not happen? Like, what are we doing out here? Who edited the article? How do you miss out? Like, Sam Williams is a pure edge. That's like his only role in the NFL. So everyone type L in the chat right now, because Bleacher Report took a pretty big L for me on that one. Like, how do you just miss on not having D. Williams? That's a disaster. Absolutely just an embarrassment, to be honest, from BR there. Now, Clowney would also be costly, and this is another reason why it's just not going to happen. Stephen Jones might say, free agent's not over yet. He ain't going to pay big money for Clowney. I think Clowney could still command $7, $8, $9 million from somebody. Also, it just kind of seems like Clowney doesn't want to be team player is the right word, but be around and do all this voluntary OTA stuff. He just wants to wait and then say he's done it for 3 years in a row now, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. Clowney is a good football player, but the numbers game at defensive end isn't there. You have DeMarcus Lawrence. He's going to make this team. Dorrance Armstrong's making it. The draft pick you did actually make is on this team in D. Williams. You have Dante Fowler, third-round pick Chauncey Golston, and Terrell Basham. You could cut Basham and Fowler, I guess, but don't you want to utilize Golston and Williams and Armstrong? I don't think it makes sense for the Cowboys. Frankly, I don't know if they're going to pursue another veteran edge unless, of course, there are injuries. So who is your dream free agent acquisition? Does not have to be realistic. Can just be any dream player you want. Sound off in the comment section for me right now. Let's go back to Bleacher Report here. They have suggested cutting Tristan Hill. This one makes more sense, although I'm not done bodying them quite yet. 2 stars. I think it is a firm roster bubble status right now for the former second-round pick, as BR went through one free agent or one cut candidate of each team here. They picked Hill, and he has been a pretty big disappointment so far in his young NFL career. Injuries, lack of getting on the field, all adds up, and Catboy could save $1.16 million if they were to cut Tristan Hill. Here was Bleacher Report's argument. The 24-year-old may be an interesting reclamation project for another team, but Dallas is too deep at the tackle position to continue developing him. The Cowboys need their depth at other positions, not to keep a third nose tackle. Not to keep a third nose tackle. He's not a nose tackle. Have they just not watched Tristan Hill? He's a 3 technique. Like that, his job is as a pass rusher where he does most of his work. He's not 375 pounds. So, do it again. Type L. 2 L's from every person watching today. We're just missing basic facts here. That's disappointing. But Bleacher Report does raise a good point that Hill's been a disappointment, and there are other options at defensive tackle overall. 2 TFLs, half a sack in his career. If that were Tristan Hill's first year only, would have went, oh, that's bad. His career, not impactful. And again, the numbers game is real. Your two nose tackles are Quinton Bohanna and John Ridgeway. Then you've got Neville Gallimore, Osa Odigizua, and Carlos Watkins. You could carry those five and save over $1 million by choosing to move on from Tristan Hill. So what would you guys do with Hill? D for dump, K for keep. He is a 3 technique, not a nose tackle. Didn't play that last year for the Cowboys. Doesn't look or play like a nose tackle. So what would you guys do? D for dump or K for keep? Let's look at the schedule briefly now for the Dallas Cowboys. We know some of the things that are going to happen, at least one for sure. NFL announced today the Cowboys are on the road in Week 10 against the Green Bay Packers. Now, that is a Mike McCarthy revenge game to an extent. It is a road game. I am glad it is in November as opposed to December. I don't like going to Lambeau in December. As a reminder, Des caught it, just like the Cowboys said. There have also been some leaks out there. 2 that I've seen. There might be more. And I'm going to put leaks in quotation because I don't know if they're real or not. Allegedly, Cowboys-Bengals on Thanksgiving, which would be a fun game. Might not be a win for the Cowboys, but it'd be a fun game. Plus, the Super Bowl loser regression is real. And allegedly, the Cowboys against the Giants in Week 18. I don't know if those last 2 are real or not. The Week 10 one is real. Thanksgiving, Bengals, Giants, Week 18. We'll see on that side. I'm unconvinced that it's real. We'll find out in a little over 24 hours when the schedule actually comes out on Thursday. So what do you think? Are the leaks real? Is the news fake? What is it? R for they're real, F for they are fake when it comes to the Cowboys schedule leaks. Get your predictions in for me in the comments right now.